crab is asleep. It is my birthday, roughly. Close enough.
Krishna.
So I figured if I was going to kick off streaming, I'd kick it off with something I'm intimately familiar with, and if you like it, hello, hi, good to see you, Fox and or Mandy. Tyrian is completely free, so hey, Zega, how's it going, buddy? If you like it, it's one of a number of games that GOG, Good Old Games, has available completely free. Little background on Tyrian. It was released in the mid-90s, published by Epic Mega Games, sort of pre-unpaid days of Epic. And they were local to us. They were in Potomac, Maryland back then. They're now down in the Carolinas. They had a bunch of really cool 90s DOS games that they either created themselves or published. This is one of, if not my favorite. So I figured if I'm going to jump into something, let's just do something I'm relatively familiar with to spend some time set up here. Looks like I can play with keyboard. I can live with that for now. Alright. So just a quick overview of how Tyrian works. You will collect data cubes. I guess first things first, it's a vertically scrolling shoot 'em up, as you saw from the demo. Basically, you traverse through levels, you get to select the routes you take, you collect data cubes as you go that kind of fill in a little bit of the plot. One of the cool things about the game is, like most shooters of its era, you gain... Boost mic? Okay, I can get the mic up. You do collect points for playing, but those points have some use because they are how you... let's see, I can just do the mic gain here. How's that sound relative to the game? Better? Anyway, so the point... Oh, awesome. Great. So the points in the game you spend to upgrade your ship. So you have a primary weapon, a secondary weapon, engine, shields, and so the points you get playing it are what you use to boost your ship over time. You need to because the levels progressively get more difficult as you play. We'll just kind of walk in. So it explains here, right? You can use upgrades. There's different ship types as well. Some differences depending on the routes you take. So you also have branching level paths. So you can select different levels as you're going through the game, and that determines what's available in shops. Collecting data cubes can determine what's available in shops. So there's kind of a lot going on. And also just something I want to point out is, as much as I like DOS games, I'm not going to pretend that a lot of DOS games, especially like late 80s, early 90s, were up to par audiovisually with where console games are. And Tyrion's kind of one of these early examples where the mid-90s, you could really tell the PC was catching up, and people had finally kind of figured out how to make these like really good 16-bit experiences in DOS games. So let's just go ahead and jump in. I think maybe playing is the best teacher here. We'll do one player full game. Funny story, old version of Tyrian used to be able to do multiplayer online through such modern things as modem play or IPX. I played a mobile game with a buddy of mine who was out of state, and as you can imagine, dialing someone else's modem out of state in the 90s meant long distance phone call. I remember Bruce at the end of the month was like, why is there a $30 phone call to Charlotte? So I got a little trouble for that one, but okay, so there's 5 episodes. We'll start with the first one, Escape. I have not played in forever. I'll play on normal. Alright, so this is the game menu. You start each level here. So we have 4. Let's see, we'll start with the data flux. After gathering all available data, I think I found the safest course to Tyrian orbit for my landing platform. After heading due west out of the Fauci mines, you should come in contact with floating battle platforms. Watch for the auto-targeting plasma turrets and the construction clause. You'll get this highlighted text. That's usually just kind of like a prompt or a warning, like for something specific if you're skimming these. The data, admittedly, is not terribly important plot-wise. There's some funny stuff in it, but it doesn't have too much influence on like what routes you take or how things play out. It does, however, introduce us to our villain of the story, MicroSol, who is a not-so-subtle villain in this game, and maybe just another reason I decided to pick it for the first game I'd stream. Boo. So you're kind of plunking all of these MicroSol forces. Note rated not funny. Okay, so this is talking about some of the different planets, Midway, Savara, Tyrian, which ones are more or less value, and why. Increase in solar collection in the atmosphere, we can beam down to surface, provide cheaper, more beneficial power. Moderate ground G-force will increase the worth of Tyrian and provide us with increased capacity for fast colonization. No one's been able to figure out the results, but GenCore has stated it believes the mineral components of MicroSol's world to be just on the surface. Gas pressure with molten pockets. Alright, so they have some interesting plans for the planet. This is, again, some of this is completely pointless, right? Like, dining, like, you don't land on the planets, you don't interact with anyone there. No finer mealworms on this side of the galaxy. Alright, we can skip this. And then we've got a mysterious incoming message from Savara. We are Trent, by the way. Dear Trent, glad to hear you're doing so well in Tyrian, son. Papa's so proud on you. How's your Hadster friend? He seems nice. You're gonna come back this focus cycle, aren't you? We have your room made up just like when you left. Oh no! Dad has a job with MicroSol. They're interested in charting the Sci 5 sector where you're working. Alright, so they've gotten to your family. We have to go to the final interview. They want us at the local branch. So, dun dun dun. Now let's go ahead and check out our ship. We are a USP Talon light fighter. That's the basic ship you start with. And whoops. All right, and now upgrade ship. This is the meat of why you're in. It's really the only thing you'll do when you're in the menus usually. The only ship we have available right now is the Talon. The front gun. So we have 4 front guns we can choose from. We've got pulse cannon, multi-cannon, Vulcan cannon, and proton. And you can see a preview to the side what each shot looks like. If I go left and right, you can also see what they look like at different levels. And you'll see that I'm spending my starting points here to kind of... That's tempting. Vulcan cannon gets like a little wider, and then a little faster. And then proton has some spread. I'll just do rank 3 of multi-cannon to start. Rear gun. These are an additional weapon that fires. Sonic Wave. I'm a fan of the heavy guided bombs personally, so we'll do that. Then you have your shield. We've already got the strongest of the 4, so we'll leave it. Shield gets depleted first when you get hit by shots, and it replenishes based on your generator. The armor you take hits from does not replenish automatically, but if you get low on health, an enemy spawns that does drop in armor repair. Alright, cannot afford the higher generator for now. Sidekicks are extra little weapons that are sitting on the side as well. Hello, Tyler, how's it going? Good to see you. Alright, so I think we're all set. Let's go ahead and save. Save early and save often. Okay. And let's see if I can configure my joystick. Calibrate. I don't think it's gonna... Tempting, but we'll figure that out another day. Alright. So let's go ahead and start. And you start on Tyrian.
Good luck.
Alright, so you'll see my generator is the, not a very strong gun. The generator is the meter on the far right to the top. The meters to the bottom are my shield and my armor. The generator, it's full now. If it is full and it has shields to recharge, it'll do that. If it... Oh, there's a first data cube.
Data acquired.
So those cubes give us more text to read and unlock things. Wow, multi-cannon, very weak. Regretting that a little bit. Spread is always so tempting in a lot of these early games, but heavy guided bomb's better. The Problem is, the heavy-guided bombs are killing things behind me, and I'm not going to get the points for them. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it is technically tomorrow, but tomorrow's a work day, so let's celebrate tonight. This is where I'm kind of a little bit amazed, and I'll give you just a quick behind the scenes here. I had not really had a chance to set up the stream scenes or kind of any of the more complicated features you normally want in one of these Twitch streams. So what I've done is I'm actually playing out of my OBS window. Oh, secret level. I did remember what it was. Sometimes you can break open terrain and find things in them. Oh, God, I wish this was an arcade game. I think this was DOS exclusive. I know the original Tyrian was DOS exclusive, and then Tyrian 2000 had a Windows launcher maybe, but it was still running in DOS. I don't think this was ever outside of DOS. Yes, this we could have absolutely played some spinners today. If you have not been, it is a pinball and arcade place in Frederick, Maryland. They just moved locations and reopened. Beautifully done on the inside. All sorts of things to do there. We took Baby Crab. They had... You know it was a good place. I knew it was a good place. We went over there, and one of the consoles, there was a guy playing Bubble Bobble. And I think that's... To me, that's one of those signs of, like, okay, this place has exquisite taste, and you should be grateful that you're here. They had pinball machines, obviously, arcade machines, a lot of air hockey. Hello! Oh, hey, Harper. Yes. Yeah, if you have not been, I will say Spinners is a little hard to find. Their new location is, it's in Golden Mile, off of Patrick Street in Frederick, but they're kind of behind the movie theater and the Home Depot in what looks like an unpopulated, almost like abandoned part of the former Fredericktown Mall. So it looks a little shady when you're out there, but when you're in the actual building, it looks great. I will say I'm not getting a lot of points, which is worrying me, because you kind of want to rack up points in the first couple of levels to power your ship up, because by the time you get to Savara, things move a lot faster and hit a lot harder than this. But maybe that secret level I got will give me a chance to get some more points. Especially if it's a secret level that has you, like, trying to traverse through things and not shoot them.
Cleared enemy platform.
Alright, so things speed up a little bit here.
Warning, spikes ahead.
These are the spikes that you were warned about in the... Alright. In good shape for the first boss.
Enemies ahead.
Oh, even faster. Just a little mini gauntlet. The one thing I haven't run into yet that I should mention, points. Sometimes enemies will drop an immediate power-up for your front or rear weapon. That's probably the most valuable thing you'll see dropped. You should definitely try to grab them if you see them, because especially later in the game, like, it's cheaper to go from level 2, 3, 4 for your weapons, but as you get to the higher levels for the weapons, they get pretty expensive pretty quick. So you want to buy up on those when the opportunity strikes. Alright, so there's the warning. And so that's the ship. Oh, I missed it. But that ship will drop an armor refill. Wow. I really regret picking the multi-cannon. It does not have... Oh, missed it again. Okay. Probably make it through this first boss at least. There we go. Hey!
Level complete.
Alright, so there's your try. Yeah, just under 70%, so that's not great. Got 3 data cubes we can read, and about 7,000 to spend in the shop. Yes, secret. If you missed it, the first level, there's like a rock to the very, very far right. You have to shoot to get that one. Alright, oh, pick up a USP shuttle. So this might be, alright, the USP Talon. It's because it's just like a real MicroSol fighter. So that might be unlocking a new ship for us in the shop. Guidebook on dining to Sector 1. Alright, and then Asteroid Sector 2. Okay. So these are probably the 2 levels we'll be able to go to after the secret level, is Asteroid 1 and Asteroid 2. It did, yep. So we can upgrade from the Talon to the Fang. You'll see that gives us more armor. So we'll do that. I'm getting away from this multi-cannon now. Let's do Mega Pulse, I guess. That's probably a much stronger shot. Keep the heavy guided bombs. I can upgrade our shield a little bit, and I can upgrade our generator. Great. Alright. We have some companions, but they're all pretty expensive, so I can't do anything with those for now. If you've played games like Gradius, companions are little floaty guys on the side of your ship that you kind of shoot with you. They're handy in some of the tighter levels. Alright, options, save again. And, okay. So let's see. So now we go to Unknown now. This is going to be our first secret level.
Good luck.
Bubbles. Oh yeah, it's okay. Yeah, and just alright, so let's load. Okay, so reason we save early and often is this is definitely a game where you kind of have to experiment with a few different loadouts and configurations and see what works for. Let's do less heavy guided bombs for this stage coming up. What else can I do that's well, the Sonic Wave will give me more front shot. That might be good. Yeah, okay. So the rest will leave as is. Let's try that.
Good luck.
Ah, there we go. Yes, much stronger shot. Okay. So sometimes you got to tailor your loadouts to the specific design for those level. In this case, this one's very hard to do here. Very specific things, like hard to kill, but straight ahead. Just gonna let that go. Oh, that went a data cube. Nuts. Oh well. That might have gotten us to a second secret level or unlocked a really useful item. Okay, cool. Still enemies. Yeah, this is great. These secret levels are really nice if you can find them because they give you a lot of points and they don't interrupt the normal level flow. So because you get to do an overall longer trip through the game, you collect more points and thus have more armaments for later levels. Love the color shifts here, by the way. They're just like disorienting enough that you may lose sight of the walls and bubbles coming down. Yeah, it's neat because it's monochrome, right? You're just switching from color to color, but it is enough that it does kind of throw you, and it's easy to lose sight of the bubble walls. And again, it's a little bit of a flex, right? Like 1995 DOS games really didn't generally show off like this level of fidelity, and again at this frame rate, like the game running this smoothly Because there were plenty of beautiful DOS games in the 90s, but most of them are, you're thinking like adventure games, role-playing games. Wow, 14,000, that's awesome. That's going to help us a ton. So let's immediately save. Alright, so that's going to really let us beef our ship up. So I don't think we'll have much in the way of new options here, because we didn't... Wild Ball. Oh, Wild Ball's pretty good. Alright. So we can speed up our Vulcan cannon a little bit. We can afford a mini missile, but it has limited ammo. I'll hold off for now, and if we end up needing it, we can always buy it again. Alright, so now we get to, this is what we're talking about. Asteroid 1, Asteroid 2. Alright, chat, have a preference here? Which route should we take? While we're deciding, I'm gonna... It is one or the other, so... yep, options are Asteroid 1 and Asteroid 2. We could go to our... we don't have the data now, but if we had read... the data cells, you get little bits of details and differences on the two asteroid levels. I want to say Asteroid 1 has more enemies and Asteroid 2 has more, like, physical obstacles. The less round one. Okay, so let's see which one that is. Guess Asteroid 1? I do need a sponsored by side. They would never do it.
Good luck.
They know better. I think this is definitely the more physical obstructions level. I may have had it backwards. At least I seem to have just enough forward firepower to get through these. Now, you'll notice that while I'm firing, because I've upgraded my primary and secondary weapons, my generator's starting to struggle to keep up, so it's staying low. Now, I am able to keep firing like that, but what that's going to do is that's going to make it so my shields don't regenerate if I get hit. I would have to release the fire trigger to regen shields, and that's never a great thing in a shooter, having to not shoot. But it is kind of one of the neat trade-offs in the game, is if you spend all of your money beefing up your weapons, your ship may not be powerful enough to power the weapons that it's carrying. Hey!
Data acquired.
Asteroids are already being mined. It's here. Ah! Data! I need the data! There we go.
Data acquired. Hey, another secret level. Well, it's not terribly secret, it's just a giant... Again, feels like a Gradius nod with a giant stone head in space, but... I know the developer said that a lot of the inspiration in this game came from compiles shooters, games like Aleste, but... It's hard not to see the Gradius there. I don't like those shrapnel guys all that much. Don't shoot anything. Large enemy approaching.
I know I'm going to say something like this is not the hardest boss and then get hit by one of these green shots, but this is not the hardest boss. Mostly because he's not a boss. This is the harder part. Oh, I was wrong. See, this is what happens when I don't play these games in 10 years. Alright, so we got 2 pieces of data. There's our transmission from Savara. We've got a price on our head now. MicroSol is investigating our parents, but this guy's offering to outfit our ship. Ooh, sonic cannons, lasers, medium armament. Okay, cool. We found something interesting. Deep Space Pirates bought a couple of these weird glowing green mechanisms. The whole freighter fleet is looking for the Black Nova Stargate. Ionized field, but too weak for shield. Okay. Oh no! A blast was centered on a dwelling owned by the Hawkins family. The husband and wife are believed disintegrated by the radiation. So MicroSol has either vaporized our parents or lied to the press and made it look like they vaporized our parents, but... Alright, so most of the people are in the community were a seminar for community awareness produced by the benevolent MicroSol Alliance. Okay, so... officers of the main Talic fusion plant said the thermal blast that committed a weapon could have been caused by faulty wiring. Okay, so let's see what we can do. Still no new ships. Ooh, missile launchers. That is tempting. Because I have a... Let me see, actually, if I can upgrade my generator. I can. So I can get a microfusion generator. I think that's going to be the priority. So I'm going to take a level off of... maybe 2 levels off of the rear gun. Do a weaker rear gun. We're going to get the microfusion generator and then heavy missiles that... Okay. Alright, so now we've got, I think... Ooh. Oh, charge cannon's 15 grand. That's crazy. No way. Alright. So let's save. I think that's probably a decent loadout. Again, better generator is always good because you'll be passively recharging your shields more often. Let's jump in. Alright. Unknown. That's right, we got another secret level from that stonehead.
Good luck.
Also, I don't know... I'm tempted to turn the sound effects down a little bit, the music up a little bit. I don't know how well you all can hear the music. The soundtrack to Tyrian is amazing. This is one of maybe a dozen that I keep in the SD car, in the car for long drives. Alexander Brandon, who's better known these days as a voice actor, composed it. And the co-composer did kind of a brilliant idea. They took Alexander Brandon's compositions, and he found a way to kind of modify the sound files to kind of have a crunchy FM synth, sort of a Yamaha sound to them, so that it sounded like more what was big on, say, like Sega Genesis / Mega Drive at the time. And being able to kind of emulate that sound, again, just further kind of lent this console experience on the console experience in a DOS game, because they really wanted that level of audiovisual. Oh, this is good. Yeah, see, we have the firepower to push back against these guys. This is exactly the right loadout for this level. Maybe not. We're moving forward, maybe we don't. Oh no! Yes. Oh man, I am kidding. Something about that gunship back there. There we go. Whew. Ooh. Okay. Warning. So where's our... There he is, see? Alright, he drops our armor up there. 15,000 points, but only 57% destruction. Again, that's something you kind of track as you're playing through the game. Your destruction level gives you a pretty good idea of your odds of speccing up as you go. Intercepted transmission from hyperspatial anomalies on Tyrian. So something's going wrong back home. We need to figure out what. We'll leave it as heavy missile launcher for now. Oh, we can go back to heavy guided bombs. Nice. Okay. Dual shoot option is a little tempting. I wonder if I can price that out. So if I go heavy guided bombs down 1 level, I'm still shooting 2. If I go missile launcher down 1, I'm still shooting 2. So now I can get a dual shot option on both sides. There we go. Now, can I upgrade either of these? No. Yeah, we'll stick with the heavy missile launcher. Maybe we can. There we go. Heavy guided bomb. Get another upgrade. Cool. All right. So we'll save that. Let's see. Savara. Alright, so this was where the anomaly started. Oh, actually, let's just quit the level. I was going to do something real quick. Turn the sound down a little bit relative to the music. Just because the music's so good in this game, I feel like I'm wasting it all on explosions. So Savara is one of the levels where the difficulty usually kicks up. There's a lot of fighter jets here, a lot of them fire back the farther you get. But it is also another level with like a big chance for points, because a lot of these will drop stuff when they're shot. Points both for killing them and for picking up stuff they leave behind. Whoa. Heavy guided bombs are so useful. They really pack a wallop, and they also give you a little bit of rear defense, because there are some times when enemies will come from the back row. Yep. Have a good one. Thanks for swinging in. Appreciate it. Data. Alright, that's a good sign. If I can actually pop the dirigibles. Decent shape, firepower-wise. Again, half of that's heavy-guided bombs. Oh, rear weapon power-up. Speaking of heavy-guided bombs. So those gray and green cells, I was talking about those earlier, those will automatically grant you a rank up for either your front or your rear weapon. Those are tremendously useful, especially late game, where those upgrades to front rear weapon could be, 25,000 points or so to go up a rank. Whoa. Did not want to stick around. Another nice thing with heavy guided bombs is you get some firepower without having to stand in the way of these warthog style planes here. Just slow playing, extremely lethal battling.
approaching.
Oh, I just realized. Hello. My cousin is in chat as well. Thank you for that birthday wishes. And yes, the clicky sounds are courtesy. I have fallen in love with the brand. It's Ola, A-U-L-A. I've started using both their keyboards and their mice for work and the new streaming computer. So, very responsive. The keyboard especially, the battery life is really, really long on it. So, I'm glad those are coming through a little bit. With the headset on, it's kind of tricky for me to tell audio level-wise, but... Alright, so almost 13,000 points. Much better destruction. Close to 80%. That's a good sign. Next is to Deliani. Transit Loke, who is the Chancellor. Sorry about your parents. We want revenge. Sure we do. Oh no, MicroSol is monopolizing Tyrian. GenCore is losing power in the council. I think, yes, GenCore would help you find the reason for Microsol's interest in your death. So this will hopefully start unlocking GenCore ships for us too. Yep, here we go. Chancellor of the GenCore Tech Alliance. We need your help. MicroSol is clearly after you. Deliani's being infiltrated by their patrol ships. Tyrion's rock formations are gravity controlling, you say? Anna, hello. Hi. The discs for this game? You have the discs for Tyrian? I am not usually the sort of person to be envious of like stuff in people's game collections, but having the discs for Tyrian is pretty amazing. Okay, so they want to control the sector, building a fleet of incredibly fast warships. But as Trance in here can tell, we are very good at flying and shooting, at least on normal difficulty, so they want us to do that. And since they want us to shoot MicroSol down, trust me, I have no qualms with that. Alright, so... Alright, we don't yet have a GenCore ship. I think we get access to a GenCore Fenix soon. But we can bump up our weapons. Let's see what makes more sense. Yeah, it'd be 15,000 bombs again. So let's up our missiles. And dual shot is still the best option. Okay. So not a lot we can do. We upped our front shot one level. Let's save. Bonus. We got a secret level? Or no, this is just maybe this is just a bonus through normal. Yeah, I think this is just. Oh yeah, this is the. This is our Galaga level. Just go through a few rounds of this. It really was, and. Having had both, I had a very weird kind of figure. I would switch almost month to month between PC gaming and console gaming growing up, and 1,000. From a console perspective, there were tons and tons of shooters and action games and platformers, especially in the 90s, to choose from. For the DOS stuff, it was that the headier games got most of the attention. But Tyrian was it was really an outlier. It was a DOS, just action-packed shooter with ship customization, amazing soundtrack, multiplayer, because you could play it over modem. You could have two ships at once, like simultaneous co-op. It just had so much going for it. And it's weird to me, too, because it's a game that, and to GOG's credit, they make it free. It's a game that I find so rarely talked about. Uh-oh. Trajectory heading intercepts minefield surrounding Deliani. We need to get through the minefield. Okay, so MicroSol has surrounded Deliani with a minefield to stop us from getting in, or at least try to stop us. We did not pick up any data. Oh! There we go, there's a GenCore Fenix waiting for us in Deliani, so we can... think we should be able to get that after we land on the planet. It's kind of weird we can get it out here, but we're definitely upgrading. So that'll change the look of our ship. See, that's another nice thing, is some of these ships have different sprites as well. So we've got our fancy new ship. Now we'll stay with heavy-guided bombs. They're just too strong. I don't think we change anything else at this point. I think we... It's weird. I think we hang on to our 9,000 points. But I don't know that there's anything we want to spend it on. Alright, so now we land on Deliani.
Good luck.
So first things first, the minefield. Yeah, I do love some of the old D&D games. I'm very, very partial to Westwood Studios. So, like, Eye of the Beholder was super cool, but, yeah, even some of the old, like, gold box titles. We were working on the revised version of the NES book, so we went back and played Wizardry and Bard's Tale and some of those other CRPGs. Again, yeah, that stuff was great on PC. So an experience like this is kind of a little... It's not the platform you would think of for a vertical shooter. Yeah, I didn't realize Andrew Greenberg, I guess, passed away a few years ago. I did not know. But yeah, it was kind of in researching for the NES book. Wordna and Trebor. Wow, 14%. Not great. And only 1 cube and no bonus levels, so... Thankfully, we were a little ahead of the game, but it's not a great setup for landing on the planet. Alright, so we have located 3 hyperspatial anomalies on Tyrian. Okay. So these are, I think... Here we go. Dimensional access to registered version may provide additional anomalies. That is a very cute way of saying you're playing episode 1. If you pay for the registered version of this game, you'll have it'll open up more levels you can go to. Alright. Yeah, upgrade. Ooh, green missile. Alright, we'll give that a shot. Less spread, but probably a lot stronger. Alright. Probably also going to use a lot more of our generator. Okay. Oh, the Incredible Machine. That was a fun one too. Okay, Deliani. There's probably 8 or 9 songs I could absolutely open the windows and crank up the volume to. Also, we'll see how good my memory is. I think this is a level that's got a front weapon or rear weapon auto upgrade, so I've really got to try to kill everything I see. Normal stream things. Oh, hey. Oh, the attractor. Okay. So you'll see I just had something pop up on the top. Oh, there it is. Rear weapon power-up. Okay, nice. So that pop-up there is... there are certain items you can get, like Whirlwind, Attractor. They're, like, weapons you can only get in the levels by picking them up off enemies. And... I'm trying to remember how I trigger it. I think it will pull the point items to me automatically, but I have to like release and then press the fire gun, which is spacebar as I've got it currently mapped. Having the single missile shot forward is really... You know, I don't know how many Andrew Greenbergs in game development. I have been confused for another Daniel Greenberg before, but Andrew Greenberg's, I don't know. At the risk of stereotyping myself, I'm much more familiar with family, like extended family or people who share our last name anyway, who work in film and TV than I am in games. Alright, so I'm going to let off the shot for a second there and refill the shield. I was going to shoot a lot. I really could do with less incoming fire. The Daniel Greenberg I've been mixed up for more than once. I worked in the industry for a while, did some White Wolf things, was also a George Mason grad, so understandably that mistake has popped up more than once. With the orb. Remember the orb. So, good news is you can kind of see through all the muddled mess here. This guy's not too bad. Oh, shot's 4 now. He's worse. Ouch. There we go. Okay, hey. Didn't even lose armor. Alright, so here's our priority uplink from Deliani. Reports of a massive gravity surge. So it sounds like MicroSol is starting to do their gravity malfeasance. Further details available at Emperor Milktoe's address. Take out that lunatic, or the planet will be ruined. Here's Emperor Milktoe. This is not a drill. A large beam of energy has been directed in the upper hemisphere of our planet. It is raising the oceans to at that point to unheard of levels. Cough. Widespread panic. Skies filled with thousands of shuttles and blimps. Even worse, a crazed lunatic called Lord Copenhagen. That might be the boss of the next level. In 5 hours, he will achieve his objective and cause a giant meltdown. Someone help us. There's a royal shuttle leaving in 5 minutes and I'll be on it. Formerly Emperor Milktoe. So, he's dipping, but he would like us to save the planet he used to rule. Oh, we can upgrade to a Gen Core Maelstrom. Great. Lightning Cannon. Mega Cannon. Both very good. Okay, I'll leave this one to chat. Mega Cannon or Lightning Cannon? Both are spiffy. Do we want the bigger fort shot or do we want some spread? I'm good either way. And again, I'll save, and if one isn't terribly useful and we get utterly killed in battle, I can always just switch to the other, but alright, we'll do the Mega Cannon. It does sound pretty cool, you're right. Alright, so heavy guided bombs. Same generator. Ooh, Minto ship. For some reason, I feel like even though it costs less, I remember the Minto ship being surprisingly powerful. I'm actually going to switch and see if that money... Alright, so it's not going to be enough to upgrade either. Okay. But we'll save. Okay. And back to Savara.
Good luck.
These ones like crash out if they get hit, but they leave 100 points gems behind, which is always good. Ooh, okay, maybe not. I was able to kill the blimps earlier, and I'm not killing them now. That's not a great sign. Oh, I see why the mints are nice. They're like a standard option. They kind of trail, so I can like have them hit at places that I can't safely shoot. Okay, so that's the reason why. Well, that's good, but unfortunately, taking a lot of hits and not killing a ton. No, it's fine. I mean, look at it. Like, visually speaking, wouldn't you think that would be an extremely strong main shot? Like, nothing about that screams you're going to have trouble killing enemies coming directly at you. So. That's right. We still have our mega guided bombs. They're still doing the heavy lifting for us. As long as I can kind of do that thing with the those puzzles where you kind of stare and you have to unfocus your eyes a little bit to see the 3D image behind them. I feel like that's something you do a lot in these shooters. You kind of eventually, your eyes have to stop paying attention to all the pretty details and the sprites and just kind of look at where action is or isn't happening. And just position, like, you're almost just more focused on your ship's position and let the shots land where they may. I guess that's kind of bullet hells in a nutshell, though, isn't it? You're kind of looking at the negative space and just trying to move into that. Unfortunately, all of these blimps going by are soaking my heavy guided bombs, so not many of them are getting up to the boss, but yeah, seem to be doing alright. Slowly wearing them down. Okay, so this is the boss blimp that they were talking about in the data file. Feel free to have a life meter. There we go. I was going to say at any point now. Now this is tricky because I know right now he's only shooting those 2 side cannons, but I see that big cannon up on the top. I just know at some point that's going to chew through me. Surely. No? Okay. This is me not complaining. Alright, it's 20,000. Okay. Yes, Magic Eye, thank you. Now that you've saved the crisis on Savara and earned the help of Trent and Loke, you head back to Tyrian to find out more about this new power. How could such an innocent pile of... Oop. Uh-oh. MicroSol! Uh-oh. Wow, look at the mega cannon on the front of our ship, though. It really is just this honking crystal of death. Wish it hit harder. Alright. So, I can't... Oh, I'm so close to raising a level. I might tweak something there. What are the other options? Yeah, Proton. Minto ship. Oh, the Tropical Cherry Companion. Alright, so we'll switch from Mint to Tropical Cherry. And we can steal a MicroSol front blaster. Alright, so we got kind of a more varied shot going up front now. That should help with the spread. I do think I'm going to buy out of the Mega Cannon. I'll switch to the Proton. I'll save this configuration because this feels very spread, but... maybe that's what we need going into Savara. or going back to Tyrian. Alright, so... Oh, sure, cool. So as you can see, Tyrian, the planet's been ravaged. It's all, like, ripped apart. There's lava below now. This was the grassy place we started at. And on top of that, we're using our ship's very cool-looking spotlight here. Again, just kind of a visual flex. This is actually working out very nicely. The spread feels like it was a good choice for enemies here. Global warming. Yeah. Using a magnet to literally rip the polar ice caps off the top of the planet is a form of global warming. Now, whether you think that's a little extreme for our MicroSol corporation or oddly prescient, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. It is a metaphor. It is ham-fisted, but who doesn't like ham? I'm from Virginia. That was a short level. Oh, it's our old friend. Hello again. In case you haven't forgotten, I guess they rebuilt him. There we go. Ooh, with now double the health bars. Even more bullets. Whoa, ow. Foot off the gas for just a second here. The generators do their thing. Alright, shields are back. Kaboom! Uh-oh. Is it really a boss until it refills its own health bar and kicks the music into a new RPG move there? Alright. We're still doing... Oh, this is actually... Why did I not do this loadout sooner? That made that feel trivial. Alright, so level completed. 23,000 points, 86% destruction. That was too close. You'd be nearly vaporized, crushed, blown to pieces, flame broiled, and electrocuted one too many times. I wouldn't call it Class 1 fancy flying. Now, I will tell you, slight disappointment here. I have this lovely new toy from over the holidays that I have not configured to run, but I was hoping to fire this guy up and play with it. I'm sure this would have been just as loud and clacky as the keyboard is, but there is something to be said that the arrow keys do give you a lot of very fine control over your position when you're flying. Why was I chosen to be Deliani's errand boy? Why did they fry my parents? And what is this extremely metal picture? If not, things could become unpleasant. Alright, and so that is the end of like episode 1 of Tyrian, and it's a 5 episode game, the full version of it. This episode 1 is the one that... Hello, Mr. Cheeks! This is the one that was like the shareware downloadable. Zinglon's ale has been stolen. So this is like a fun little mini game. How can we believe in a just universe to eat crackers if we have no ale? Alright, my Zinglon, I need a drink. Hello! Oh! Yes. So, if you're wondering about the clacky keyboard, this is the clacky keyboard. I did steal this from the mister that we've got set up in the recording studio, so I feel like I'm plugging something. I'm not getting any reason to, but we got a replacement for it, so this one can live with the streaming computer now, and the new one can go over and be with the Mister setup in the recording studio, and I don't have to keep dragging keyboards around the house. Alright, so this is a little mini game that is thrown in at the end of episode 1. You must dodge wave after wave of enemies to gather as much ale as possible, but you must also clear the screen of enemies before continuing to the next level. So I'm going to do a separate save, do it up here. Okay. And then you'll note that there are no ship upgrades here, and when you go into this level, Sojin, it is not a typical level. It is... You are this separate ship, kind of a single shot, and you need to... Oh, you have way... Oh, that's right. You don't regenerate. You just have to kind of... It actually, if I had to describe it, it feels a little bit like Pang / Buster Bros. Because you're kind of... You can only move around and fire these single shots up. And things are kind of bouncing parabolically. Grab all the ale, shoot all the shots. It's a very silly minigame. It proceeds for like 15 levels of this. I'm just gonna die and... Oh, I have multiple lives. I'm just gonna quit level. And skip it. So this gives you your total score. You get a hint for something you may have missed through the playthrough. So there's a secret to the first tank in the level of Asteroid 2. I think we went to Asteroid 1. So you go, goes in your score. And it will then automatically transition you to the next level. I'm going to go ahead and call it there, though. So a couple housekeeping things, I guess, before I close out the stream for tonight. There are a few things that we are hoping to do with the stream here. I have not set it up with the gang. I got to talk with Alex, Richard, Aaron, Matt, and Momo. We do want to record some things here that are also going to go on the YouTube channel. It's at youtube.com/Winterion Game Studios. If you're not familiar, IONGAMING, we've got about 700 episodes of things going back a decade on the channel there. Additionally, there's some other things we want to tie in with IONGAMING Live. If you're not familiar, starting this year, we have changed up our Patreon. We are now donating directly to the One Tree Planted Foundation. So anyone that signs up at patreon.com/Winterion for even $1, a tree gets donated, or a tree gets planted every month for that donation. We are up to, I believe, 34 trees planted this year already. The hope is to get 100 in the ground by summertime. So that's just kind of a small way to give back. Again, if you're interested in that, that is at patreon.com/Winterion. Additionally, some plans that we've got for the year. We are working with if you familiar, we did Portland Retro Gaming Expo. Here, I'll just actually make things a little easier to hear. I'm going to take the game and switch to hello. We'll do just me for now. So we worked on the Portland Retro Gaming Expo's FMB zone, which was something we put on for Roberta Vaughn. Roberta Vaughn's Retro Adventures is a group that's now doing museum exhibits and events at expos. We are looking to do some stuff next year as well. Right now, our plan is to head out to both Portland Retro Gaming Expo and PAX West in Seattle. I don't know that we'll be in Seattle, but both Alex and I should be in Portland. In addition, we'll probably be going out to Long Island Retro Gaming Expo. If you've never been, that's at the Cradle of Aviation Museum in Nassau, right across the street from where the New York Islanders play at the Coliseum. That's always a blast if you've never been out there. It's a convention that's held in the Cradle of Aviation, which is an air and space museum. And so all of the exhibits and the old machines, you can play games like Tyrian literally next to the lunar lander and the suits that the Apollo guys wore in the mission. So it's pretty amazing venue. There's some great people that run that convention, so we'll probably be out there in the summertime for a weekend. I don't think I've got much else to report on for now. I don't have any updates on Winterion.com or on the book, except to say that I'm hoping late spring to do a couple more interviews to work on that. And then for the NES book, the progress in that has been great. Obviously, I'll let Pat speak to anything that we're publicly releasing on the book and the status of that. But I'll just tell you from an inside perspective, it's coming together beautifully, and I think you're really going to like it. So if you were a fan of Ultimate Nintendo, Guide to the SNES Library and Guide to the N64 Library, I think you're really going to like the expanded edition of the Guide to the NES Library. So definitely check that out. And with that, I technically get older in a little under 2 hours, so I'm going to go hang out with the family and be 41 for just a little bit longer. Thanks to everybody for swinging in. Appreciate it. It was short notice, but I've been itching to do this for way too long. This will get put together a little more cleanly. I'll have scenes, transitions, stream alerts, like all the things, kind of the bells and whistles you would expect as we get things kind of polished here. But hope you enjoyed. And it's Sunday night, so sorry you got to go back to work tomorrow. But thanks for spending some of your evening with me. I appreciate it. Have a great night, everybody.